It's September in the city, and the birds can be heard chirping in the park and all through the block. And everybody's laughing, just shooting the breeze. And the weather's still warm, and the weather's still warm. And Mary wore a coat 'cause she thought it'd be cold. And all the boys are laughing at her. See how she sweats with the coat on her chest. She must like the way that it hides all the fat that she gained and gained. But Mary walked on, trying to be brave. Told herself she wouldn't listen to what they say. But each joke, each laugh, each unkind remark rang in her ears, just beamed in her thoughts. So found her, turned around, waddled on home, shuffled past her mom and up to her room. She opened the door and closed it behind, and the tears welled in her eyes. She cried and cried. Her mama and her dad knocked on her door, saying, "What's gone and happened to our sweet little girl?" Well, Mary felt ashamed with her nose so stuffed, and the mucus in her mouth and her eyes all puffed. She felt ashamed of the way that they looked at her, and she wished they were gone. They're just making things worse. So she turned and laid face down in her bed, grabbed hold of the butterfly pillow she loved as a kid. Mary buried her face in her butterfly pillow, but they didn't get the message. They just stood there still. "Oh, just tell us what happened. Tell us what's wrong. If it makes you feel better, I'll stand in the hall. You can talk to your mom." But Mary didn't say a word, still looking away. "Well, all right, Mary, you can be that way. It don't matter to us how much you fight. We ain't leaving till you tell us. We'll stay here all night." And they stood there all night. So Mary went to school, 3 hours of sleep, took off her book bag, squeezed into her seat, took out her notebook, started writing with her pen. She wrote and wrote till class came to an end. And when it was lunch, she found another seat. Though there was cheeseburgers and there was pizza, and she didn't even eat. She just sat looking deep in thought. Till lunch ended, she got up, walked on, and the final bell rang and she went on home. Told her dad she was going to the park, said goodbye to her mom, and she passed those boys on her way. And though they joked and they laughed, she kept to her way. She stopped in the store to buy a few things, bubblegum and Advil and a Life magazine. And the cashier smiled as she turned to leave, and she smiled back and he handed her her receipt. She arrived in the park round about dark, took a seat on a swing, looked up at the stars. She took the note that she wrote and the Advil from the store, and was found by a jogger early next morning. It's September in the city, and the birds can be heard chirping in the park and all through the block. And everybody's confused, nobody's saying a word, and the weather's still warm, and the weather's still warm.